Reality Team TV, we're back. We're back. We're back onto the red chair. First and foremost, I want to tell all of you guys that are watching this, you know, like obviously the red chair has been away for a good few weeks, but now we're back. And hopefully we're not going to be going anywhere anytime soon again. On the red chair today, we've got a very, very special guest, someone very interesting, someone with a lot to say. And I hope you guys really, really enjoy this conversation. So yeah, my bro, welcome onto the red chair.
Thank you for having me.
Can you introduce yourself to the people, like your name and, like briefly what you do, and we'll literally go from there.
I'm Syed Adeel Rizvi. I'm 34 years old. I live in Greenwich, London. I have Irish and Pakistani heritage, and I've graciously been invited to this casting couch session. Kind of nervous, it's my first time. And with the right questions, we'll ease it in.
Yeah. Like, when I say, what's the first thing that pops up into your head when I say profession, in terms of like, what is your profession?
Jack of all trades, master of fun. But I've had many professions. I've worked corporately. I've worked for the NHS. I find myself in education. And I have a lot of side music projects, which keep me sane from the regular, routine, monotonous rat race.
When I moved to the UK, one thing I really love about the UK is free healthcare, right?
Yep.
Everybody loves free healthcare, right? And a lot of other countries don't really get to have this, like this privilege to have the NHS, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are somebody who's worked in like for the NHS and within the NHS, like however you want to say it, like would you say like it's true that over the years the NHS has gone downhill?
It's dipped down, again, without going into too much detail.
Of course.
My father's an orthopedic surgeon. I'd say 90% of our family and friends' circumferences are doctors at very high posts. And yes, there has been a notable dip. It's supremely underfunded. Hardest working people I've ever met in my life. Having seen it from a young age at home as well. And it's such a shame the way things are going. If you remember the Olympics in 2012, right at the end of the show, it was Save the NHS, which caused a global outrage, right? Like it was a stain on British ceremony. But fast forward 13 years, we've only seen it deplete more. And the pandemic was a strong strain on resources, since which we haven't even recovered yet.
And do you believe, like, obviously touch wood, innit? Pause, touch wood. But do you believe, like, definitely with the way things are looking, definitely it's only a matter of time before the NHS becomes private and all of us are gonna have to pay for it, and there's not gonna be any free healthcare for all of us? Do you believe, like, as time goes by, definitely like this is gonna happen?
There will be some elements. There will be some elements of free healthcare. However, there has been a rise of health insurance recently. I have some immediate friends who do go via health insurance, but again, a bit of nepotism. I've been blessed, so luckily never had to do the long lines, never had to do the long waits, simply because of the blessing of being surrounded by these selfless doctors.
Yeah.
It's hard times, but it could be worse. We could be in America. When it's courtesy to be like, look, are you dying or should I ring an ambulance for you?
No, it's totally true. Hopefully, to be fair, like this is not gonna happen anytime soon, and hopefully we're gonna continue with the, free healthcare, because like I just said, like where does your mom and your dad come from?
Irish born, right? Pakistani roots. I'm the eldest mistake of four. 2 sisters and 1 kid brother, who's in university now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've traveled a fair bit growing up, not so much in my later life. Experienced a lot of cultures, experienced a lot of different schools, systems. When you're growing up as a kid, moving around a lot does impact yourselves. You don't realize it, but when you grow up a bit and you find yourself attuned to so many different bits and pieces, it's actually a blessing in disguise.
And because it sounds like very interesting, like having an Irish parent, basically coming from being mixed. It sounds like a very interesting mix. Like you growing up, like like how did you find it, like growing up with like being half Pakistani and half Irish?
Well, I only lived for the first 5 years of my life in Ireland.
Okay. And how was that like?
I was 5. My earliest memory in my childhood is remembering Mufasa die.
Okay, yeah.
Crying in the cinema.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to also talk about just in general, like you said, when you moved when you moved from Ireland, where did you move to?
England.
Yeah. And how was How was that like? You know, like your childhood. What was like some of like you said in your early memories in terms of like growing up? If we can start off, like let's start off in like around secondary school. Like
Secondary school.
What type of child was you like in secondary school?
I was a nerd. Like I had all 151 Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. The focus always at home was get the grades. You know, rewarded, right? Instead of actual tangible pocket money. So I was either on hitting the books or I was hiding my Game Boy under covers at night through like Viridian Forest or something in Pokemon Yellow.
Okay. And literally going through school, like you went to college as well, yeah? Did you go college,
university,
and university? Like what? When you went to university, like what did you study and what did you graduate in?
I did international business at Brunel University.
Yeah.
This is by 2009 to 2013. Really fun era because university you get to redefine yourself multiple times. You know, pick and choose what works for you and what doesn't. You know, I can't complain. I had a blast in university.
Yeah.
And Brunel is by Oxbridge, right? So you know they had some really good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Goodies nearby.
Yeah. Say to the people again. What did you study at university?
I did international business.
International
the most
business.
generic of
what is it? Yeah. Can we go into, for example, someone who might be listening to this and
Sure.
like they don't know exactly like what that is like.
So international business would be an accumulation of management, marketing, accounts, like just a brief sort of crash course on little bits and bobs.
Yeah.
But the studies would not be limited to, let's say, UK markets or UK related case studies. It would be more on an international level. Like, you know, once a week, one of our teachers used to, you know, our homework was find these management terms in a newspaper article. And we found that really interesting. Like I used to subscribe to The Economist, like week in, week out magazines at the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'd study like things like Qatar's funding of the Olympics. Fun fact, Shard, 80% of it is owned by Qatar.
Huh?
Yep.
You learn something new every day.
So when the Qataris wrapped up, right, there was not much to do. So what you see, Olympic Village, East Village, Stratford, that side, that's pretty much Qatari owned.
That's really interesting, you know. And also, like, you know, like, I don't know if you'll have heard that quite a lot of people, you know, like, go university, they graduate, obviously, and they keep these degrees. But a lot of people over the years also say that a lot of these degrees that they've had, they were useless because they end up being useless in whatever society and they end up not using it. You know, you got people who have got masters but they're working retail jobs, innit? Like, would you say for you that definitely, like, your degree has helped you?
No. It, like you said, it was a piece of paper. However, it's a piece of paper that opens certain doors.
Yeah.
Then that door may not be what you study, right? Like my sister, she studied classics, literature related and stuff, right? She moved into HR. She's done 100 other jobs which have nothing to do with English literature, right? Like there's recently people are doing media studies. There's an influx of media studies.
Yeah.
That's this day and age's business degree. They don't know what they want to do.
Yeah.
And then you have more niche degrees like gender studies, like unless you really want to jump in an anthropological study field of it, what the hell are you going to do with gender studies, man?
True.
And then when you think about it, most people can't afford their university fees. They go down via the student loan angle, right? And next thing you know, you're £60,000 down, which will take you 30 to 40 years, money up the wazoo to pay back, possibly with interest rates and heavy interest rates. And, you know, you McDonald's is sending you a rejection letter because your heart's not in it.
It's true. Like I said, we've seen so many of those people in different, like you said, working retail, doing all of these things. And once you start speaking to them, you find out like, like you've got a degree in this as well. Like, even moving forward, like one thing that keeps on catching my eye is your bracelet. Before we move forward,
Okay.
Like, before we move forward, it keeps on catching my eye. Could you speak about your bracelet that just shortly before we move forward?
Which one? Like, I've got two here. Sorry, this was something, an event I was at earlier. I'm not one to believe Mercury is up Uranus, but this is obsidian. Excuse my French. This is obsidian, right? Obsidian is based on magmic volcanic rock.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of properties, and the main thing is it blocks out negative energy.
Okay.
And call it placebo, call it anything, but whenever I leave the house, I wear this, right? Sometimes I'm not that soft-skinned that a bad look or a bad interaction would piss me off.
Yeah.
However, I feel my most in this.
Okay.
So I think this was a gift from one of my dearest friends. She thought I could use this. She's strongly into
spirituality.
Yeah. You know, she spends a lot of money on it. I don't know why, but
yeah,
she got me this. I think it's from Thomas Zabo. She got it for my birthday, and I whenever I leave the house, I have this on. As for the watch, obviously, a gentleman always needs a watch. As for this one, I adopted a whale.
How do you adopt a whale?
Okay, so the site's called ocean.co.
Okay.
They're doing some of the best work on tracking whale migrations. They do dolphins as well. They do shark protection as well. Growing up, kids are either dinosaur kids, they're cowboy kids, they're astronaut kids. I saw Free Willy and I was a whale kid. In another life, I could have been a marine biologist.
Why for Free Willy? But that movie is quite big, to be fair. That movie is really good.
Yeah, I was born in 91, so seeing that had a great impact on culture and marine studies and,
This world, we're going through our own personal journeys, but it's like...
Are kids going to watch this? Because the world is... Nah.
My main audience is not kids, innit? So
Okay.
it's kind of like...
No, the world is a supremely messy place, right?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people have distuned themselves, from watching the news even. Because they're just happy in their own bubble. Like, there's a South Park episode where Eric Cartman has this box, right? Anxiety box, where he just puts it on and shuts everything off.
Yeah.
But the world doesn't work that way, right? You can't shut off the noise. You can selectively choose the noise that impacts you, but there's always going to be noise. The world's always getting messier. Like, look at the Palestine situation, right? It's a genocide. It's happening. I can comfortably say that. No one can disagree with it. It's such a shame on how things are going. It's so documented. It's 2025. We should be curing cancer. Instead, I can go on any social media platform and say kids with their limbs torn, and yet the world is unable to do anything about it.
Why? Even just talking about that, we are in 2025, as a person, once again, who lives in this world, and have these conversations, to try to learn and to educate myself when it comes to certain things, I always wonder, again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but
Sure.
I'm a curious guy who likes...
No, but there's no
myself.
conspiracy in this.
You get me?
There's 54,000 and counting women and children dying.
You know what I
Are
mean?
all of them terrorists?
One question I usually have when I see what's going on in Palestine, even obviously in our countries. Do you remember what goes on even in my brother's country, in Afghanistan, things that went on, even again in Congo, in places in Africa, what goes on in Sudan, in all of these countries? I always just ask myself a question do you not think definitely all of these world leaders are actually getting money from these wars?
Yep.
Because my thing is, surely if these world leaders really, really, really wanted to stop this, they'll stop it.
Oh,
so
100%.
my simple question is just always why do we still have these wars and these things, these these horrific things still going in our countries and our countries? You get me? Why? What do you think?
There's a famous saying by Baron de Rothschild: when there's blood on the street, buy property. War is a machine. War is a mega earning machine. Now, I have Ukrainian friends, but if you look at how much tax money has been laundered through Ukraine, it is unbelievable, right? These companies, let's say Gaddafi, right? You're of African descent, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, there were horrific things. He was a dictator, but why was the reason he was taken out? I feel like I'm going to get you cancelled by saying this.
No.
A united African currency. Now, the strongest currency is the dollar, simply because the oil trades on it. Could they have that?
No. He wanted... And this is why I say that. This is why I say... But also what surprises me, we live in the information age, guys, right? Yeah? Do you remember back in the days, obviously, we never had all of this information, so we used to get manipulated easier because we used to only listen to the news. But now we've got a lot of people educating us and whatever. Another question is, how come still the world or the people still somehow allow these people to get away with, again, these kind of things? You get what I'm saying? I thought there was more woke people than ever. In terms of people uniting, are people scared? Are people scared to come together and kind of challenge some of these leaders who start these? You get what I'm saying?
90% of the world is stupid. That's your answer.
Yeah, people.
We're gonna vote reform in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Watch it happen. I'll bet right now. They voted Trump in again. Again. Out of 330 million people, they voted Trump in. They deserve Trump now. The only thing is Trump impacts the world.
Yeah.
So people have the memories of goldfish, man. Remember when the Tories put up the bills in the pandemic, all the corruption? It was blatant corruption. They didn't even bother hiding it, right? There was this joke. I accidentally added Matt Hancock on Facebook. I got an NHS contract, right? Right, but rest her soul or whatever. I don't know her personally. Yeah. But when the Queen died, people stood 24 hours for a bloody empty coffin, right? Had we done that when there were rising bills, had we done that when the Tories were corrupt, can you imagine 100,000 people showing up outside House of Parliament? They'd shit themselves.
Absolutely. I just always question myself. A lot of these.
I'm not an anarchist, by the way, for the record.
So basically, like, because I believe that as well. A lot of these brainwashed people, yeah, there's a big bunch of a lot of these brainwashed people who like make up like the majority of the numbers. Hence why a lot of this shit goes on. Because if there was more woke people, more people who wouldn't stand for this bullshit, people basically like what I'm saying, people would ride out in it. More people would be marching in it. Like I have to say, you know what? This is gonna sound a bit crazy, but I have to say, I always have to give a round of applause to the government and all of these people that brainwash these people, because clearly they've done a very good job on, like, you know, brainwashing a vast majority of these people. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Do you vote?
Yes, I would. I voted for Green, and sadly, Reform got 13, 14 seats, and Green got 3.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Because
Well, no, we Labour were going to be die Tories. We knew this was going to happen, but we didn't vote Labour for the love of Labour. We voted Labour because we were sick and tired of the Tories. After 15, 16 years, we got them out. And what has Labour done? One thing that Labour's done to make our lives nicer. Nothing.
Fuck all.
So I wouldn't say I'm a conspiracy theorist, but the government always works in lobbying factors.
And it's there over the years.
Good TV show, House of Cards. Frank Underwood, what's his name? Kevin
show.
Spacey.
Amazing.
I'm not going to say it's as exaggerated and dramatized as that, but it happens. You know, like politicians might as well, like I'm wearing this shirt, right, with a logo. Politicians might as well wear badges like Enron, we take your money and run, or NASCAR, or big oil, or big pharma, because that's who's putting them in power.
It's actually true. It's true. And swiftly, just like slightly moving off.
Sorry. But my stance on politics, dude, it's only going to get messier. The only thing we can do is take care of each other as a community.
Yeah.
I do a lot of charity work as well. Charity is a big money-making way as well. However, if we can improve the lives of others in some way or form, why should we not? Because the government's not going to do anything for us. We have to do it for our people. And our people being the citizens of the United Kingdom, the people of the world.
Yeah, man. Sometimes I just sit down and I think to myself, Jesus Christ, man, once again, people these days, they just seem... Do you think people are more brainwashed than selfish, or you think people are just more people are just selfish, saying, you know what, I don't wanna get into that. As long as my thing is cool, whatever, let me just do whatever I'm doing. Do you feel that?
I wouldn't call them selfish. I wouldn't call them brainwashed either.
Yeah.
I'd say people are ignorant, right? And ignorance is actually bliss. The older I go on, the more people who are in their bubbles, they live a monotonous life. They'll save a bit of money every year. Every 3-4 months, they'll go for a weekend city breakaway, and they'll die. You know, what have they done to make the world a better place?
Nothing.
And you know what? Before I used to judge them. Now I'm actually jealous of them.
Why are you jealous of them?
Because, you know, like the more you learn, the more you read things, the more you question things, right?
Yeah.
You know, whether it's religion, you're prescribed to a religion. Unless you have blind faith in something, religion is, you know, whatever you're taught as a young child.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was confused. You know, my dad, you know, Muslims are kind of stern. You can't go in the church, don't go in the synagogue. You know, I read the Torah, I read the Bhagavad Gita, I read the Testament, I even read the Book of Mormon. And my father always encouraged me to go out and explore different things, to the point where me and him can have a critical thinking discussion about these things. And the more you read, the more confused you are. Not saying I'm questioning my fidelity in Islam, but when people get to that level of confused, they either become agnostic, or ignorant. Not ignorant. The atheist is the polite word to put it.
Atheist, yeah. No, I hear you though.